Hi, I'm Sierra from Essentials for Healing, and Kevin and I make all of our skincare products. Actually, we make everything from shampoo to shaving cream to everything we use. We make ourselves. So much easier. And I noticed today that Kevin's face wash is getting down there in the bottle. So we're going to make that today. And I thought it would be nice to show you how simple it is to make your own products and how inexpensive they are. Today we're going to make like I said, a face wash. And you're going to need some aloe vera gel, not juice, gel. And as you can see, we go through a lot of it, so our label's looking pretty ratty because we sterilize the bottle in between each pouring. We buy it by the gallon. We get it from Aromatics, and you can see how clear and pure it is. So you're going to need aloe. You're going to need a 2-ounce PET plastic container or glass. We just like to have plastic because you drop it in the bathroom on the sink and it breaks. So you can get them in a 3-pack at most like Dollar General's type of stores. Then you're going to need some white kaolin clay. Again, I get mine from Aromatics. I really like the purity of that company. And this, I have to tell you about kaolin clay. It is so soft. You can almost make baby powder out of it. Well, you actually can if you add other ingredients. And then we're going to use coconut soap. Kevin and I prefer coconut soap because it's softer on the skin, less drying than Castile soap. We get it from a company called Tropical Traditions. That's an online company. Otherwise, you can use Castile soap. Again, I'm not a fan of Bronner's. I don't think that's really pure. If you would like to know resources, just give us a call. So we use coconut soap in everything that we make except for shampoo. In that case, and we use Castile soap because you do want to get the oils out of your hair when you're washing your hair. And then we'll have just a little bit of jojoba oil. It's also called a wax because it really is a wax, but it's a liquid wax. And the nice thing about jojoba oil or wax and aloe is they're very, very similar to the pH of your skin. So they're wonderfully enhancing to your complexion and to nourishing your skin. So it's a win-win. And lastly, our favorite scents are lavender and frankincense. And just since you're using it on your face, you don't want to use much. So we're going to use 2 drops of lavender and 2 ounces of wash. And we're going to use 1 drop of frankincense. Let me tell you a little bit about these 2 oils before I start making this. Lavender has 29 properties that you just can think of right off the top of your head. But lavender is so soothing and nourishing to your skin. It's heavenly, and it smells heavenly. I like to buy the one that comes from Washington State, and again I get it from Aromatics, and it has, to me, a less camphor smell. It's heavenly. It just smells so good. So lavender is good for inflammation. It's good for burns, scars, any type of irritation, bug bite. This is one of the few essential oils that you can use neat, and by that I mean directly on the skin. So you can take 1 drop and put it if you get bitten by a bug, and that will calm the inflammation and the itch. You can also mix it with aloe for a sunburn. So there's endless amounts of things that you can do with lavender. This also takes the airborne microbials out of the air. I already said air. And disinfects the air. So you can put that in a room spray, and that's wonderful. Frankincense again has the same, basically the same skin properties, really, really nourishing for the skin. So you put these two together and you have just wonderfully nourished skin. The only thing that would top that possibly would be rose, but that gets a little costly. So we're going to go ahead and get started. Since we do this as kind of for a living, we have lots of scales. You probably don't. So I'm going to transfer, I'm going to say it in ounces, and then I'm going to say the approximate weight. The approximate amount in tablespoons or teaspoons or something that you might use. So I'm going to put this on my scale and I'm going to tare it because I want to make sure I get the right amount. And I'm going to start with the aloe, and it's I'm using 1.4 ounces, and these are weird measurements, but it just comes out to be a really nice cleanser. So that would be for you 3 tablespoons. So I'm going to start. My hands have been sterilized. This bottle is sterilized. So I don't then have to really worry about contaminating if the 2 bottles are touching each other. Now I kind of got the pouring thing going, so I'm going to go ahead and get 1.4 ounces dry. Again, that would be 3 tablespoons for you at home. Well, I overshot it, but that's what happens when you do things on camera. And since both of my things are sterile, I'm going to go ahead and pour it back in here so I can get closer. It's not that exacting, so if I don't, there we go, 1.4. Trust me, if it's 1.6, you're still going to have a really good wash. The next thing I'm going to add is the jojoba. So I'm going to tare it back to 0, and I'm going to add 0.3 ounces of jojoba, which is a half a tablespoon for you at home. And so if I mess up now, I can't pour this back. So here we go. Okay. Miracle of all miracles, I got it. Ta-da! 0.3. Or for you, a half a tablespoon at home of jojoba. And then I don't need to tare it because now I'm going to add a teaspoon of kaolin clay. Love, love, love this stuff. This stuff, kaolin, listen to me, this stuff. This white kaolin clay is probably the softest and finest of all the clays that you can use, and that's why it's one of my favorites to use in just about everything, unless I want texture. Now I'm gonna, again, my hands are sterile, this is sterile, so I'm just gonna poke it down in here. You don't have to worry at home if you're about sterile, if you're pretty clean and you're going to use it up in a timely way. As long as your hands are clean, no need to worry about sterile. I just practice sterile because most of the things I make are for other people and need to be sterile. Okay, the reason why I'm not putting the soap in yet is because what a mess you get when you shake it after the soap. I learned that the hard way. So we're going to shake that a bit, and as it sits in your refrigerator, it's going to it'll calm down the little bumps. And that's another thing about having one of these flip tops, is the bumps, the little lumps of clay, if you have any left, won't go through there, and you'll be fine. So you see there's a little bit of texture there. Don't worry about that. That's going to dissolve as it sits in your refrigerator. You probably want to make this 12 hours or so before you're going to use it. Kevin won't probably need more for another 2 days or so. Okay, so now we're going to add our last ingredient, which is going to be a half a tablespoon of soap. Now excuse me, Kevin, I'm going to reach up in the cabinet here and do my little cheat. Here, I have one sterilized. Because coconut soap is very watery, and it's hard to get the exact amount. If you're doing it at home in a tablespoon, it's half a tablespoon, it's going to be easy, but I'm doing it on a scale. So if I pour too much, I want to go slowly so I don't contaminate. So I need a half a tablespoon of soap, and that's going to be 0.3 ounces for me. Spilled. Okay. So that way, it's a lot easier to pour from this than this. And I can pour that back, and I'm going to give that a small little shake. I don't want to make bubbles. And now all that's left is 2 drops of lavender, and most of you must know by now that if you have a bubble and it doesn't want to drip, that you either do this or just put the lid back on, and it'll usually burst the bubble. I'm not a fan of tapping the top unless this is your own, you're just doing it for yourself. So it is 2 drops of lavender. Let's see if I get 2 or 20. And notice how I flip that back. That keeps it from running down the side of the bottle. And I put the cap right back on immediately. I'm a little anal about that. And then it's going to be 1 drop of, I can tell Kevin has used this last. He's very strong hands. And 1 drop of lavender. Again, so wonderful for the skin. I'm sorry, 1 drop of frankincense. Well, in this case, 2. Again, when you're making things homemade, even if I'm selling them, 1 little drop is not going to hurt anything. 1 little extra drop, it happens. And there's your wash. Let's see how it smells. Smells really good. Again, very mild. You want a very mild aroma for your face, or else it's going to be irritating to your skin. So this is our face wash, and this will probably last a week or so. You only need about this much on a wet face, and then rinse it. And this is very, very moisturizing. Most people, men, won't need moisturizer, although Kevin does use a moisturizer in the winter. So I hope you've enjoyed this, and we're gonna shortly follow with my favorite body wash. Thanks for watching.